The village in it with a map and a plan. No place too tiny for this determined man. Crossing the counties one by one, you'll see in every English corner a bit of history.
Hello folks, welcome back to the Staffordshire Moorlands for round 4. Now, gradually, as we've been working our way through the moorlands this week, it's got a bit more rural every single time, apart from Longer, obviously. Now, this is the most rural we'll have seen as of yet. This one doesn't have a walking route because it's impossible to walk around this one, let me tell you, because it's all spread out all over the place. There are hamlets and isolated buildings and, you know, things which just basically don't form a nice, neat little cluster. There are some good bits in this though, let me tell you that for free. The one we'll go to at the end of this video, the landmark at the very end of this video, is probably the most interesting. We've got to get there first though, there's lots to cover. Welcome to Fawfieldhead. Fawfieldhead, multicoloured field. Today on TVI, as we head west across the Staffordshire Moorlands, we're taking on the parish of Fawfieldhead. This one is one of the most rural anywhere in the country. Fawfieldhead is scattered across the landscape here. It's by no means a village you can walk around, and there are far more animals than people that live in it. So, for the most part in this episode, we'll be driving and we'll cover a fair few miles, navigating carefully landmark to landmark, joining the dots. Fawfieldhead consists of a collection of tiny hamlets and isolated buildings, which are all glued together via a maze of country lanes. Bang in the middle of it all is the B5053 between Longner and Worslow. It's hard to define where the centre of Fawfieldhead is. There is a hamlet with that name, but arguably it's not the main one. Fawfieldhead's main church is actually in another hamlet called Newtown away to the west. By no means though is that the only church in this one. There are at least 2 others which sit within the expanse of moorland covered by the parish. There are pubs all over the place too, some in business and some not. The best known is probably Ye Olde Butcher's Arms at Reapsmoor. Right on the edge of the parish boundary to the west is one of the area's best known features. It's called Blakemere or Blackmere, but the locals call it the Mermaids Pool. It's got a few tales to tell us, and it lends its name to the Mermaid Inn just up the road. This one supposedly means multicoloured field. I hope that's true, because when you do a lot of driving around, you do like to see some nice scenery. Let's check it out and see. We start our trip across Fawfieldhead at this building, Ruac Chapel, which can be found in the hamlet of Ruac or Ruac in the east of the parish. Ruac Chapel was for the Methodists, and it was built in 1849, offering them a secluded rural retreat. No longer in use for services, it's now an Airbnb. It's well used too, and why shouldn't it be? No end of people love to walk the Staffordshire Moorlands, and this is probably one of the best places to base yourself. It's situated in a picturesque farming area which is still within the boundaries of the Peak District and offers some great views from its very own doorstep. As a chapel, this was built on land that was historically owned by the Shirley family. They were instrumental in bringing Methodism to Ruac. 2 members in particular, Mary Shirley and her son Joseph, played a key role in establishing Methodism in the area, including the use of a room in an empty house for preaching. Ruac Farm remained in the possession of the Shirley family until 1997. John Hope Shirley was the last resident of the farm. Ruac is a very isolated settlement. It's fair to say the chapel is just about the only building of note it has. There are some farms and the odd house here and there, but that's about it. It's hard to define what lies within what hamlet out here. The next thing we're heading for isn't far from the chapel, but I don't think you can really say it's in Ruac. Using Hig Lane, we're heading for its junction with the B5053, one of the few major roads in this area. It cuts across Fawfieldhead parish, connecting Longner with Worslow. Here's a test of your memory. Can you remember the cheese factory in Grattan when we were in the Derbyshire Dales a couple of months back? Here in Fawfieldhead, there was another one. Located on the junction, the old cheese factory is this building right here. Built around 150 years ago, it featured innovative self-turning shells for cheese storage and large vats for milk processing. The Fawfieldhead Cheese Factory was originally part of the Alstonfield Dairy Association, which later became Derbyshire Farmers. It was a cooperative effort by local farmers to produce Derby cheese. This factory was a significant part of the local agricultural landscape and was a testament to cooperative farming practices of the time. Today, of course, it's not producing cheese. It became a workshop for a company called Fox Country Furniture, which has been in business since 1983. They specialise in bespoke furniture, which they've been producing for over 36 years. If you want custom-made country furniture, this is the place to come. So in much the same way as the Staffordshire Knot, which we saw yesterday in Sheen, I don't think this place is in business anymore. All the information I've just given you there about Fox Country Furniture comes from its very own website, and it does say on that website that it's open at 10 o'clock every day, but it's beyond 10 o'clock right now and it doesn't look very open to me. I wonder whether this is still trading. Well, even if it's not, it's still worth coming out into the countryside to admire the scenery, even if you're not looking for furniture. Just check this out. The cheese factory has this amazing view. That's to the east, and to the west it's not bad either. We, though, are heading in a different direction. We are now heading north to get to our next area. Now, the old cheese factory's address is often given as Reapsmoor, which kind of backs up my theory that it's not in Ruac. Again, though, it's hard to define. Then again, so is Reapsmoor. Reapsmoor, loosely, is the area that we're in now, a vast expanse of countryside between Ruac, Fawfieldhead, Newtown and Worslow. The next landmark is a pub, and it's called Olde Butcher's Inn. This has been the home of the Reapsmoor Club since 1835. This is an ancient stone pub in the midst of the moorlands and not easily accessible without a car. It dates from the 1700s, so you'd imagine this has hosted many travellers on horseback. Inside, there's a mix of comfortable sofas and an area laid out for diners. It's a true free house run by a genial landlord. It's well worth a visit if you can find it yourself. The Butcher's was once owned by the Garner family, and beer was sold straight from barrels on stills at the rear of the bar via a jug. That's quite a different setup to your traditional pub. So if you step outside the front door of the pub, this is your view, and isn't this beautiful? I'm so glad the sun's up today. We've got a nice clear blue sky because you can see how beautiful the Staffordshire Moorlands are. You know what? What's even better than seeing it from the pub? It's actually driving towards it, and that's where we're going. This is going to be fantastic in a moment. North we go again in the car as we head towards another religious building, again still within Reapsmoor. We're heading for the Church of St John. As churches go, this one's a bit unusual. St John's Church at Reapsmoor is one of the daughter churches to Longner, but that's not what it was originally. Initially it served as a workhouse for the poor before being repurposed for worship. In 1846 the building received its licence and an external staircase was added for access to the upstairs room. That was used for its services, whilst the downstairs then served as a schoolroom until its closure in 1959. That former schoolroom is now used for church and community events. Extensive renovations occurred in the 1890s and again in 2019. The Peak District National Park now own the building. It's a very peculiar church all ends up, and very characterful as a result. So that's about it for Reapsmoor, so let's head towards Fawfieldhead itself now, the hamlet that gives the whole parish its name. Now oddly, Fawfieldhead is by no means the principal settlement here. This used to be a township in the parish of Olde between the River Manifold and a small rivulet called Blake Brook. The hamlet runs for about a mile from east to west along a sunken lane that's covered in lots of places by a canopy of trees. You could perhaps count the number of houses here on one hand. Even if not, there are certainly no more than about 20. No sooner are you through Fawfieldhead than you're in another hamlet called Newtown, and that's where we'll find St Paul's Church. You want to talk about scenery? I think I've found the best bit yet. We're now in a place called Newtown, which if you come through Fawfieldhead, this is kind of where the road leads you to. There's not much in it apart from a church, but we'll see that in a second. To be fair, the church is not the main thing that I'm bothered about right now. That is. How beautiful is this? The Staffordshire Moorlands, ladies and gentlemen, they are fantastic, aren't they? I could stand here all day and look at that. We still have a few bits to cover though. So this is the lane that's brought us here. That's Fawfieldhead over there, and you can see there's like an old chapel or something there. I didn't know anything about that before I came here. Don't know whether you can just see just about see it there where my finger is. But the main building we've come to see is this one here, which is the church here in Fawfieldhead / Newtown. Just before we go to this, you can see there's a parish notice board here. I don't know how many people are going to see this, but of course we do need to leave a card on a parish notice board somewhere in Fawfieldhead, so we'll do that just now. We'll leave it just there. Hopefully someone will find that. That's Fawfieldhead in the books anyway. Let's check out this church. St Paul's Church dates from 1837 and is made of coursed stone, block and ashlar dressings. It has a blue machine tile roof. It's a single cell building which was funded by the efforts of Sir George Crewe. He raised £600 by public subscription to build the church. It's another daughter of Longner. That's as much as is really known about this one, and so we'll move on again. This time we're heading south through another hamlet called Shorefield. We are now in an area that's really off the beaten track. Absolutely nothing is known about Shorefield's ancient history, and there's barely even a settlement up here. I say up here because we have climbed up into some hills on this trip. We are of course still very much in the Peak District. Fawfieldhead means elevated place with multicoloured open land. That's accurate. It's certainly elevated, and it's pretty too. We're about to come around Swallow Moor, where you can see the true beauty of the countryside if you stop for a while. That sounds like a plan. So by coming round Swallow Moor, we've climbed up a really steep hill. It was quite a difficult drive actually. You know what, the hardest part about it though was finding somewhere to stop because these lanes are quite narrow. Eventually though, I did find this spot right here, which is not a million miles away from our last landmark here in Fawfieldhead. I tell you what, this is some view. We're right on top of the hill here, and that's Swallow Moor you can see in front of you. You can see for miles today because obviously the sun's up, we've got a blue sky, it's beautiful. Aren't the Staffordshire Moorlands just absolutely fantastic? You know what, they have a lot to tell us in terms of scenery and how the land lies, the topography of the place if you like, to use a fancy word. There's plenty of legends here on the moorlands as well, and that brings us to our last landmark. To finish the parish off, we have two landmarks that are right on the parish boundary. Now, if truth be told, they're both actually over the border, but they're so close it shouldn't matter much. This here is the Mermaids Pool, a name given to a small lake by the locals. Its official name is Blakemere or Blackmere. It's a natural lake and it's been the subject of an enduring legend that claims the water is haunted by the ghost of a mermaid, hence the Mermaids Pool nickname. The earliest known record of the lake is from 1686 when Robert Plot wrote about it in his book The Natural History of Staffordshire. According to that text, the pond used to be much larger than its current diameter of 50 yards. An artificial trench was dug towards its eastern shore in an attempt to lower the water level. Over the centuries, the pond has been the scene of a number of drownings and a murder when, in 1679, a woman peddler was reportedly dumped in the pool by a local serial killer. So anyway, the legend of the mermaid goes like this. It tells of a beautiful young woman who rejected the advances of a local man named Joshua Linnet. Unable to accept the rejection, Joshua accused the woman of being a witch, and he managed to convince the local townsfolk to drown her in this lake. With her final breath, the young woman muttered a curse against Joshua, and 3 days later his body was found by the pool, his face covered with claw marks. The last recorded sighting of the mermaid was in the mid-19th century when a group of locals attempted to drain the lake to see if it was bottomless, which has been claimed. Shortly after they began digging at the southern end of the pool, it's said that the mermaid appeared from the lake and threatened to flood the nearby towns of Leek and Leek Frith unless they stopped. It has since been proven, by the way, that the lake isn't bottomless. In 1958, a member of the British Sub-Aqua Club established that, at its deepest point, the pool is no more than 6 feet deep. Not far from the lake is a pub that seemingly shares the legend of the mermaid because it's called the Mermaid Inn. The Mermaid Inn is reputed to be the third highest in England. It was built by 1638 and was originally known as Blakemere House. It was an inn by 1851 and changed its name to reflect the mermaid legend. It's up to you though whether you want to believe the story of the watery woman. Alright, that's your lot for Fawfieldhead, but this trip across the moorlands isn't complete yet. We still have a lot of driving to do tomorrow in a parish that's very similar to this. We will get a walk tomorrow though. Just to the west of here is a tiny place called Upper Hume, just off the A53. I'll see you there to do it all again in 24 hours time. Now, just before I go, remember, this video is part of a huge project to visit every civil parish in England. That's more than 10,000. These routes are pre-planned, and due to time constraints, I can't cover every detail or walk down every street. Please don't complain if this video missed something out. I pronounce names how I choose to. I am very aware that local dialect may vary, and I don't take kindly to criticism about this. You've been warned. It's impossible to know everything too. If this video was terrible, make your own. If you're a regular watcher of The Village Idiot, you're not the only one. If you've got a small business, why not use my videos to advertise it? Leave a comment below if you're interested. And finally, thanks for watching this episode, everybody. Give us a like and a subscribe if you've enjoyed this episode, and share it with your friends and relatives. It all helps to keep this mission going. Until next time, I've been Andy, also known as The Village Idiot, and I'm out.